Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 10 of the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series here at Darlington. Drivers will have 50 laps to decide who will walk away with the checkered flag, but first we got to set the running order for those 50 laps. It is qualifying, taking the best time of the 2 laps. That will set the starting order with, of course, the short track twist. That is the 12 car invert here, so we'll see where our drivers rock and roll, where they slot on in, and it's going to be a fun one here. Big time momentum track, especially in these street stocks, so we will see some good old bump drafting, some Darlington stripes being made on some of these cars. As we take a look at the 014, this is JT Batson at the stripe. Batson goes on the clock for his first time lap. Sun is setting here on the Darlington Raceway, so probably will be either sunset race or racing under the lights. Always a great time here at Darlington. As Batson down the backstretch for his first time lap. Very, very long laps here at Darlington. I think over 30-second long here with the street stocks, and a lot of throttle time, a lot of on throttle, so it's all about being smooth. Almost got to treat this like super speedway qualifying as we get times rolling on in here right now. Andrew Payne sits at the top of the board for the 014. Heads up. Big time out of shape there in 1 and 2. I'll probably disallow this lap, or at least throw it way out the window, so Batson will have to probably stick with that 34.58. Now we had to do another guy here coming to take his first time lap. It is a 66, our new points leader, Stephen Rochford. Rochford lap number 1, good enough for a 33.43, but the 66 here tonight will be the shotgun driver. Will start at the tail end of the field, so he will have his work cut out for him here tonight and try and see where he can drive up to. If he can pick up the win with the shotgun kind of challenge in front of him, he'll pick up some more bonus points. Picked him up last week, and that's what helped him to take a points lead coming into tonight. Who is the 66 battling in points? Well, it's Andrew Payne, Tim Rogers in an intense battle. Then in 4th in points, it's a tie between Ty Delphia and Chuck Darling, and I don't see Chuck Darling here tonight, so Ty may walk away with some big time points advantage in that battle as well. Rochford does improve, but only slightly, a 34.31 for the 66, only good enough for P number 8. Jeff Dillon able to jump into the top 5. He will slot into P number 5 as practice wraps on up here, and it looks like the 93 machine of Andrew Payne will walk away with yet another quick time award here in ASRC. So we'll head on over, a quick 2-minute warm-up, and then turn them on loose. But once again, got to give a shout out to Andrew Payne walking away with the quick time award here from qualifying. Some race information here tonight. Of course, you can see just in the track map alone how tricky this track is, with 2 very, very different corners. 1 and 2, you got to carry that momentum on corner entry, let that car drift up to the wall, and then kind of hit the double apex, hit a second apex to make sure you don't slam that backstretch wall, because that wall comes up quick. Then 3 and 4, a pretty sharp turn for the speeds they are carrying, so you're going to want to run pretty much right against the wall without hitting it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch here tonight. It looks like a decent temperature, 78 degrees, 83 degrees track temperature. But with the sun setting, I have a feeling track will cool on down and times will pick on up. Of course, we got to thank all the partners here at ASRC, that being LaPlante Racing Products, Boardwalk Subs, as well as Postma Flooring. You want to find out more about ASRC, check them out at American Sim Racing Club on Facebook. As we get ready to rock and roll here, I believe 16 cars ready to do battle. We'll find out who will walk away with the checkered flag. We've had, I think this season so far, I want to say about 6 different winners. Stephen Roachford, of course, picking up the most wins so far this season at 3. Zach Nichols picking up 2 wins. Chuck Darling picking up a win. Same with Caleb Ramsey, Riley Duncan, and Anthony Danta. So I believe with that, I think that is then 7. Let me double check my math. And yeah, 7 different drivers picking up a win this season. Can we have an 8th, or will someone repeat and find victory lane? We'll find out here right now as warm-up wraps on up. We get ready to head down trackside to go through tonight's starting lineup. The starting lineup here tonight for 50 laps at Darlington. Zach Boyer in the 13 machine will lead the field to the green flag. On the outside of the front row will be made up to the 18. That is Devin McDonald. Row number 2 will be a winner this season, the 41 machine of Caleb Ramsey. Last winner at a big track, and we pick up another one, starting in a great spot, rolling off 3rd. And then in 4th is the 7 car that is being piloted by Pete. Stephen Roachford in the 66 would have started 5th, but with that shotgun challenge, he'll drop to the tail end of the field. Rolling off 6th is the 35 machine that is Hayden Swank. Starting in 7th is the 6 car of Mark Fuquay. Rolling off 8th is the 52 machine. That is Jeff Dillon. 9th going to the 38 of Dave Payne. Rounding out the top 10 is the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. 11th, Anthony Danta in the number 9. And then quick time qualifier here tonight. We'll start 12th. That is the 93 car of Andrew Payne. Rolling off 13th is JT Batson in the 014. Ron Hart in the 51 will roll off 14th. 15th will be the 013 of Ty Delphia. 16th is Ethan Terrell. As we get ready to rock and roll, 16 cars, like I said before, ready to do battle. Get ready to rock and roll, turn them loose for 50 laps here tonight. Front row, Boyer, Dillon getting ready to rock and roll. The iRacing pace car here will quickly make the hard left-hand turn down. And now we wait for the 13 machine to fire on off. It's going to be bump crafting, beating and banging racing. And here we go. We go green flag racing here at Darlington. Boyer away with a great start out in front. Side by side for 2nd though, as Dillon gets sideways, might have got some help. Calamity in turn number 1. Dillon will slide up Hayden Swank in the 35 machine involved, and that didn't take long, folks, to get things shaken here tonight as Calamity turn number 1 between, I think there's contact between the 7 car and the 41, so we will take a look, see what happened between the two of them, try and get a different camera angle. Not sure if Pete Dillon came on down. Let's see again. And just maybe too close racing at the start. Dillon definitely coming down a little bit. Ramsey slightly up from that dash line, but definitely could have used maybe a little bit more space between them. And then Hayden Swank, just an innocent bystander. Big time damage to the 35 machine. Luckily, I think Dillon able to keep that car up. I think maybe the 52 machine of Pete Dillon might have gotten just a piece of that as well. Yeah, you can see the right side damage to the 41 machine of Ramsey. Quite a bit of it to that right front fender. So you got to wonder, how will that affect the handling of the race car? How will that kind of affect the car's handling and the aero? And you can see Jeff Dillon did get a piece of that. Dillon, of course, with the throwback scheme in the 52 here tonight. We'll bring it down onto pit road though, try and get some of that damage repaired. Hayden Swank already into pit road. Looks like we'll be probably calling it a night as he has very extensive damage. Pete Dillon trying to catch the back of the field, so that car at least still rolling. We'll have to see if he brings it on in. Definitely will be a tough order to see if he can keep pace with the rest of the field here tonight. So with that, that'll pretty much move everyone behind Zach Coyer up one position from where they're running. And then from about 5th on back up 2 positions, with it also collecting Hayden Swank in that. So at the moment, 14 cars out here. I believe Jeff Dillon definitely will get that car back out here, but some early calamity to kick off Darlington here tonight. We'll have to see if that's a sign of things to come, or if everyone will calm on down and try and race it on out as lights go out on the pace car and around the speedway. So we will re-rack, restack the field, and try and send them loose for more than one corner this time. Dillon able to get off of pit road back to the field here, so he will have about 3/4 of a track to try and catch the field before they go green. He's going to be cutting it very, very close. You can see the field off in the distance, so Dillon definitely going to have to hustle to get to the back of the field. As you can see, able to repair some of that damage, but some of that damage still apparent on the 52 machine. As here we go once again, we wait for the iRacing pace car to head back down onto pit road. It does so once again. The 13 machine of Zach Colbeer Coyer in control. He can fire off whenever he decides, and he has some teammates behind him, the 6 and the 9, so I have a feeling those guys are all going to try and work together, as well as Caleb Ramsey as well, so I'm sure all those cars are going to try and work together. But here we go. They'll dive down into turn number 1. So far, so good, as everyone able to at least make it through one corner so far here. Zach Coyer out in front in the lead. Oh, one car big time hits the wall. I believe that's the 41 machine of Caleb Ramsey having that damage. That's definitely not helping it there. As out in front, Zach Coyer leading the way. Now Mark Fuquay to the inside of our race leader. Fuquay down low in the 6, up top the 13 machine of Zach Coyer. They'll go side by side, door number to turn number 1. And if they want to make sure one of those cars wins this race, they pretty much just have to park it next to each other just like they're doing and just say, hey, if you guys want to make something happen, you got to force the issue. And right now, I'm going to try and be the rolling roadblock out in front. But the field, though, stringing on out. No one's really tucked up with another car and really pushing them. So out in front, though, Mark Fuquay able to get clear. Fuquay, new race leader. He'll slide up in front of the 13 machine of Coyer. Now it's Ramsey and Coyer side by side. Then right behind them, Anthony Danta, Tim Rogers side by side as well. As I think Rogers there gets a piece of the wall there off turn number 2. Oh, it's Danta and Rogers big time together on the entry in turn number 3. Luckily, no damage between the two of those cars, but that could have been very, very bad if one thing led to another, but everyone able to keep their race cars rocking and rolling. And the aggression level seems pretty high here. 50-lap race, definitely not a lot of laps, but still quite a bit of racing left to go here. As everyone else really single-filed on out here at the moment. First side-by-side battle here is Devin McDonald trying to work over the 38 machine of Dave Payne. Right behind them, we have quick-time qualifier Andrew Payne, then JT Batson, Ty Delfio right there as well, as Ty will look to the inside of the 014 down into turn number 1. Won't quite have the momentum, can't get the pass done there. Jeff Dillon in this red 52 machine, working that high side here, so got that damage repair. That car is seeming like it's handling pretty good, able to get some passes on quite a few drivers and get back up through the field here. You can see riding on board, a lot of wheel input through the corner, just trying to keep that front end planted, try and keep that car where you want to go. As Zach Coyer down the front stretch got a good run, will take it to the inside of the number 6. These two will drag race there off turn number 2. It might come down to which car the 41 machine of Caleb Ramsey pushes. Looks like we'll push the 6 car at least down the backstretch, but these two still side by side here off turn number 4. A great battle for the race lead, as these two guys have been side by side quite a few times already here tonight, and not changing it right now either. A little bit of a fun fact, both these guys battling for the lead here, both looking for their first ASRC win, so a lot on stakes here, and a lot could happen though. But as man, Coyer drifts up there a little bit right to the door of the 6. Luckily everyone able to keep their race cars under them, but man, racing inches apart as Ramsey gives Fuquay a big push down the front stretch, but the 6 car not quite able to get clear. That's right on board with the 6 car with that great left rear, or I should say A-pillar shot, and see just how close these cars are getting here tonight. With some contact there on corner entry. These guys leaning on each other just a little bit, but just some hard fought racing at a very, very tight track. Even though it's one of the biggest tracks here we go to in the street stocks, the lane that you can run is about 2 car lengths, maybe 2.5 at most. So these guys really having to thread the needle to run side by side like they are. You can hear there from the 6 car barely getting out of the throttle, just maybe for 1 second, then getting right back into it. Caleb Ramsey, a little bit of an issue there through 3 and 4, might have got the wall in the corner. Will lose a handful of spots just down the front stretch. Now he's under fire from the 52 machine of Jeff Dillon. Ramsey goes from 3rd all the way back to 7th here, maybe some more, as Dillon's still trying to work him on over. And pits are probably out of this race. The 2 cars involved in that first incident, Pete Dillon and Hayden Swank, done for the night most likely. Out towards the front, a new challenger has appeared. That gray and white 18 machine of Devin McDonald. He's up to P number 4, looking to the inside of the 9 car of Danta. Couldn't quite get the momentum in either one, but he is right there as well. Further on back, I thought I saw some smoke, maybe not. But yeah, the 014 machine of JT Batson a little bit slow down the backstretch. Up towards the front though, big time contact there between the 6 car and the 13. We saw both those guys getting very close to each other through 3 and 4. That time, more contact, heavier contact, and that slowed up both drivers. A big checkup. Now you can see still door slapping each other through 1 and 2. Man, these guys are teammates, but they are racing each other super hard in the early stages of this one. Time by a lot cleaner through 3 and 4. The 9 car looks like he'll go low. He'll push the 13 machine down the front stretch. That'll give Cold Beer Coyer a little bit of advantage going into turn number 1, though not able to clear as the 6 car able to keep the momentum rocking and rolling. But he is wobbling that race car. He's a little bit loose as he puts the wheel in, starting to break the traction in those rear tires. Side by side through 3 and 4 once again. A little bit of friendly contact between the 2 of them. Everyone else behind them kind of single filed on out here at the moment. No one really taking any sort of big runs, big moves at the moment. I think these guys at least want to get to the halfway point, if not just after that. For sure, with about 20 to go, we'll see the intensity start to ramp on up here tonight. 6-car Fuquay almost clear of Coyer through 3 and 4. He will get clear, so he should be able to have the momentum, get the run down into turn number 1. Then the question is, does the 6-car go to the inside lane? Does he stay up in lane number 2? Man, Coyer got a great push down the front stretch, but not quite enough because Mark Fuquay out in front. He can choose either lane he wants right now up against the wall. Giving the draft to the 9-car. Coyer will slot into P number 3 here at the moment. So up front, things cooling on off just a little bit here at the moment. Everyone else kind of racing a good battle further on back as Andrew Payne up into 8th here to the tail tank of the 41 of Ramsey. Right behind him, Jeff Dillon, Ty Delphia side by side for a second. Will run high in the corner, try and cut that car down low, get the run into turn number 3. We'll see if Payne really sends it on down in there, tries to clear himself. Looks like will not, so these two will go side by side down the front stretch here. 41 of Ramsey able to run with that damage. Luckily, it seems like not affecting that car too much, but will lose a spot to Payne there. Andrew Payne up to 7th out in front though. Battle for the race lead once again, as now the 9-car of Anthony Danta will try and work over the 6 of Mark Fuquay. We saw Zach Coyer not be able to quite get the job done. Now Coyer sits in the pushing spot. He'll push the 9-car here down the front stretch. As Danta gets a great run there through 1 and 2, but here comes the 6-car up on the top lane with that momentum. You can just see the speed. Of course, the inside lane has the preferred way through the corner, the shorter distance, but that top side has some great momentum. That is key with these low horsepower street stocks, is keeping these cars wound up as much as possible. As Dev McDonald up to P number 3 here, choosing that outside lane, pushing the 6-car here. The question becomes, when does the likes of Tim Rogers, Dave Payton, Andrew Payne start turning up the wick? Then further on back, we kind of have a 3-car kind of pack running their own race. Points leader Stephen Rochford sits 11th. 12th is Ethan Terrell. Then JT Batson 13th. And then Ron Hart way by himself in 14th. Just riding on around, banking on another caution and maybe the big one here tonight. As out in front, Danta gets clear through the corner. Can he get clear on corner exit? Yes, he can. Anthony Danta, new race leader down the backstretch. Danta leads the way over Fuquay. Then it is Coyer in 3rd at the moment, but Dev McDonald trying to take that position away. Either of those cars could be 3rd or 4th. 5th, Tim Rogers. 6th, Dave Payton. Andrew Payne 7th. Caleb Ramsey in 8th. 9th is Jeff Dillon. Ty Delphia rounding out the top 10 here. This time by, though, at the stripe, we will enter in the countdown clock. It will be 25 laps to go here tonight at Darlington. And with that there, it is also cross flags as well, as we go halfway home, halfway down in this one in race number 10 of the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series. Danta here leading the lane. So far, no one else really jumping out of line yet. Mark Fuquay in second, Dem McDonald in third. Let's ride on board with our race leader, looking back at the rest of the field here. Take a listen too to see just how much throttle time the 9 car has as the race leader, but with the race leader, you're the one splitting the air, and with that, you cannot have as good a runs as here comes Mark Fuquay trying to take the race lead away. These two will go side by side, but yeah, also with these guys battling, take a listen to how much throttle time these street stocks have here tonight at Darlington. I guess my mic was off, but here we go. So that time by here, 2 open palms from the flagman. It is 10 laps to go. I've been probably yapping for who knows how long, but sorry about that, folks. We are back here with now going to be 9 laps to go here at the stripe. Andrew Payne leading the way over it. Anthony Danta, Dev McDonald able to get that draft with Danta and Payne side by side. That slowed up their pace. They now get caught by the top 5 as Tim Rogers back in the hunt. Same with Dave Payton. The top 5 in their own island with 9 laps to go. Further on back, Zach Core had a big moment there in turns 1 and 2. Off of turn number 2, slapped the wall big time. Now he is under fire from Jeff Dillon. Mark Fuquay and Caleb Ramsey go side by side. Then further on back, Steven Rochford has driven up into 10th. Ty Delphia losing some pace. He's 11th. 12th, Ethan Terrell. 13th, JT Batson. Then 14th, Ron Hart. So Tim Rogers here trying to work over the 18 machine of Devin McDonald for 3rd. As further on back, Fuquay slaps the wall there off turn number 2. But these guys just want to get to this checkered flag here. Sitting for points battle here. Andrew Payne comes into tonight just in 3rd position. He currently picking up some bonus points for leading the lap as well as leading the race. If he could pick up a win, that would be big time for the 93's points hope. Sitting currently in 4th is Tim Rogers. He comes in 2nd tonight in points. A good point night for him because points leader Steven Rochford currently only up into 10th here, so this could definitely shake things on up before it's all over here tonight. Here through turns 3 and 4, Danta will try and go to the inside of Andrew Payne. And the battle for 3rd there, Tim Rogers able to get clear from the 18 machine of Dev McDonald. McDonald will try the crossover move before these two make contact. Rogers almost lost that race car, but able to somehow hang on to it. Down the backstretch they'll go. They will drag race it here. Dave Payne up in lane number 2, going to try and give his teammate in the 48 push. But here we go at the stripe. It is an open palm from the flagman. It will be 5 circuits left here tonight at Darlington for race number 10 of the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series. Payne currently leading the way. He has yet to visit victory lane this season. Would be a good turning point. Payne leading the points into the halfway point. Has since had some really bad luck. Lost that points lead. A win here tonight could change the season around and catapult him right back into the hunt with only 2 weeks left. Next week, New Smyrna, then season finale at Iowa. Tim Rogers up into 3rd here, is able to start really getting a good draft here from our race leaders. Where will Rogers go down the backstretch as they go side by side for the race lead in front of him? Rogers looks like we'll pick up the 93 car on the outside lane. Danta will drive it in there deep, try and get clear. They'll make contact. Andrew Payne gets in the wall. Tim Rogers big time sideways. Those two racing hard with now 3 laps to go. More contact between the two of them as they head down the front stretch. Man, oh man, Danta wants this win bad. Last time, both cars into the wall with each other. How will they work 3 and 4 this time? Dev McDonald right there now to the back bumper of the 9 car. Right behind them, Tim Rogers, Dave Payton go side by side. This time, though, they will stay off each other for the time being through 3 and 4. This time by at the stripe, though, popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go. Man, oh man, it's going to be a barn burner for this win. Probably going to be yet another ASRC Classic finish with a photo finish. Andrew Payne up in the top lane in the preferred lane. Anthony Danta down low. Row number 2 could be the best pusher. We might have to find out here because this time by white flag is out. One more time to go in row number 2. It's Tim Rogers, Devin McDonald, And Dave Payton sits there in fifth in case anything crazy happens. Through 1 and 2 here for the final time here tonight. Tim Rogers with the momentum cuts Zach Carlo. We'll go 3 wide down the backstretch. How will this soar on out? Rogers with trying to go anywhere he can at the racetrack. He gets tight. Danta will try and get clear. Danta puts Payne in the wall. Off turn number 4, everyone sideways. But Anthony Danta picks up the win here tonight, and that will be his second career win here in ASRC. Andrew Payne will finish second, Tim Rogers in third. I think not too happy feelings between our first and second finishers with the finish of that one. But here tonight, Danta will pick up another win here. So the 9 car will bring it down to the front stretch and burn it on down if he chooses to. And I tell you what, folks, don't go anywhere here after our break because it may be a pretty interesting podium interview here tonight with the racing we saw here. So looks like the 9 car will park it on the start finish line. So we'll be right back here after a quick commercial break.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Darlington Raceway, and the first driver we'll be talking to here tonight is our third place finisher, that being the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. Tim, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, man.
Oh, man is right. How we feeling after 50 laps and how that race ended for the 48 car?
Same as last time. Lots of mistakes on my part. Oh, man. I felt like I could have won that one again.
Yeah, man, and it is oh so tough to figure out when the right time to make a move. I mean, if you had to do it again, knowing what you know now, what would you have changed?
Uh, be a lot more aggressive. Be 10 times more aggressive. Um, I don't know. I was saving my tires at the beginning. I thought that was a pretty good strat. I was able to be up there at the end, but make the right moves. I made the right moves at most points, but at the same time, I screwed myself over plenty of moments. I don't know. It's like I tried to do something different there at the end. I went 3 wide, not knowing how it was gonna turn out, but thought it might work.
Yeah, you definitely had the run down the backstretch. You guys were pretty much all even going into three, but I assume that apron just didn't have the grip level that you needed.
Man, I wish I could have just shot my car right up into both of them, but that's not how I want to win the race. It just got super tight down there. I would have sent myself right up into them. I was hoping Danta or Andrew would wreck themselves and I could just scoot on to the victory, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they almost did as well. So looking back, is like, man, do you almost ride behind them and then wait for that contact? But you never know if that contact's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, it happened somewhat in the closing laps. They hit each other in 3 and 4, and they checked up more than I thought they were. And I hit the back of Andrew, I think, and got the thing sideways. I was so mad, but that's I don't know. I was fucking oop. I told myself I'm not gonna swear, but I was so livid at myself. I was like, I can't believe I just did that to myself. I've had a pretty solid race and I just screwed myself there. But I was able to get the draft again and get back up there and make a hell of a move on the 18th to the outside there and one to get that momentum. And I was just hoping, praying that they would hit each other again.
Yeah, and that contact did come, but yeah, Tim, it seemed like especially in the second half of the race, there wasn't another car more sideways than you. You had a big time moment in one and two, as well as that other moment off of four. I mean, how did you end up hanging on to this race car, and not only that, end up in the podium? It was like, woohoo!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I chopped Devin's nose there. I was just super desperate to get to the inside. I saw him coming. I know I'm racing for every point I can, and I think I chopped his nose, and I was like, it was like slow motion, man. I was like, did I really just screw myself over this way? And then I somehow saved the car.
Yeah, somehow.
I was just crazy. I don't know how I did it. I can't tell you how I did it.
Yeah, I don't know either, because you had that thing loaded up, unloaded like two or three times just in that one corner. I mean, holy smokes. Especially at these speeds. I mean, you got to have lightning quick reflexes. Luckily, you had that here tonight.
Yeah, it usually doesn't go that way. Usually I screw myself over like I did there and end up wrecking the thing. But was able to get it going, got put back in a little bit of traffic. Didn't really want to waste my time back there because I knew I saved more tires than those guys, and I pushed hard to get back up front and ended up working out.
Yeah, that it did. And like you said before, Tim, a great points night here tonight. Able to close in that gap with two races left. So New Smyrna, Iowa still left to go. How we feeling and how we feeling about that championship battle?
Gotta win a race, like I said last week. Gotta win a race. This was probably my best opportunity to win a race in these closing races. I don't know where we going to next.
New
Last 2 weeks,
Smyrna.
New Smyrna. I don't know if I can win that thing. This was probably my best shot to. I just gotta hope Rochefort wrecks or something. You
Well,
know.
luckily we end the season off at Iowa, so another bigger track
Oh
where
shit!
drafting matters.
I forgot about that one. I'm gonna be so aggressive that race. It's not gonna even be funny. I'm telling you right
Awesome.
now.
We look forward to seeing you in that one, and that one's going to be a wild one. A lot on the line, season finale. It's going to be a good one, not miss racing. So Tim here tonight, finishing on the podium again. Notches that points battle here, even closer between the three of you guys. So before we let you go and celebrate yet another podium, Tim, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, with either sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to. And of course, before I let you do that, of course, another great paint scheme. Of course, rocking kind of a throwback scheme all season, but here at Darlington fits very nicely, my man.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I want to thank this Miller Lite I slammed after the race, and I want to thank the other Miller Lite I'm about to drink after that one. And I need you to like make me a sheet or something. I need you to be my PR guy because I never know who to thank, what to thank. thank the sponsors, thank the admins, thank you for broadcasting, thank you to everyone for showing up. And that was a good race. That was an awesome race. Good racing, everyone.
Yeah, that was a fun one to watch. So, Tim, you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here as the season starts to wrap on up.
All right, see you.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. Now we'll head up to our runner up finisher, that being the 93 machine of Andrew Payne. Andrew, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I got a copy.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how we feeling after 50 laps here at Darlington?
Well, if you'd asked me 49 and a half laps ago, and I would have been okay, but we're a little disappointed and frustrated with that one actually, and I was looking it up before I hopped in the interview, and we've lost the last two races by less than 3/10 of a second the last 2 weeks, so this one stings a little bit more too now with how that one finished.
Yeah, also close, like you said, Andrew. 2 weeks in a row, runner-up finishes, and at least a good points night for, of course, you and Tim Rogers. That will close on up, but you're looking for those checker flags. Everyone's matter, and like you said, to lose it in this way here tonight, probably not the best feeling after the week that you had, and then here tonight as well, right?
Yeah, this one stung a little bit. I felt like we had a really good strategy there and raced our way through the field relatively clean with all the guys, made some really smart moves, worked together with Tim and Dave when I could, and just made really smart moves to get up to the front. And then unfortunately, I felt like I didn't quite get the respect I gave out there at the finish in those last couple laps. Being put in the wall by the same guy a couple times is not how I want to race, but we'll move forward from that. Just know who I got to race a little bit harder next week, and it's I will say though, even with the disappointments of the last couple weeks of finishing second, it's so much better than what we were in the midseason. We were getting wrecked or wrecking out or just bad strategy calls, and we're getting back into form. A little bit too late in the season to make a real push at the championship with 2 races to go, but I'm happy with how we're performing right now. I obviously want to take it, and I'd like to finish one spot better at least one of these next 2 weeks. But we'll take it and get good momentum going into next season. I know I know having just good runs is huge. Just in general, having some good clean races is gonna put us in a good spot. Just to hopefully build off of those clean races and just learn and hopefully put ourselves in better spots. And we're gonna, yeah, we're definitely gonna take what we learned this week and hopefully take it to Iowa for the finale because these are probably the closest couple tracks we'll get in terms of how you're supposed to run them. But we'll move on. We'll move on from tonight and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, that you will, Andrew. I know that for sure. And we heard something interesting from Tim Rogers. He said, I took it too easy here tonight. I think I got to be a lot more aggressive. Do you think you'll have that same mindset when we come to this similar track, like you said, of Iowa here in 2 weeks?
For sure. I mean, it's just with how these cars draft and everything, it's really hard to make good runs, and you kind of got to squeeze in spots when you can, and just also kind of hope guys fall off from pushing too hard early. But I felt like I raced aggressive, and obviously I didn't race aggressive enough because I didn't come home with the win. So I think I just gotta figure out a way to obviously be a little more aggressive, getting through the field sooner. Um, I was, I think, 3 or 4 laps shy of leading the most laps tonight, and 3 bonus points towards the championship would have been huge. But it's hard because I feel like these cars, the tires fall off. But I feel like we're getting a little bit closer to a good happy medium where we're saving but still being aggressive. Tonight was close, but I would definitely have to agree with Tim. Just willing to be more aggressive, willing to make moves that put you in better spots, and figure out a good way to push that aggressively and still save your stuff is going to be the main goal here. Because I know some of these guys who did run up front ended up running up front almost all night and still finished up front. So obviously, what we're doing with saving and not making aggressive moves. There's probably a little bit better way to go about those things, and we might end up with a couple better finishes if we do that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, great data point here tonight. I'm sure you'll take it and use it in 2 weeks at Iowa, Andrew. But I think the time is a coming for this 93 car to hit victory lane. Like you said, 2 finishes just coming up short. I mean, it's only a matter of time. Gets, of course, even that lady luck on your side, and that 93 car will visit victory lane here before the season's done. So, Andrew, before we let you go and celebrate the runner-up finish here tonight, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast here.
Well, first and foremost, huge shout out to you, Brett, and the Turn 3 Racing Network. Looking forward to go back and watch this one, and obviously maybe try to learn from it too. See what I could do better and what I did good tonight. But really appreciate you guys broadcasting. It's always a blast to get to talk to you guys up in the booth. So huge shout out to Tanner and all the other admins for putting on the league, putting on the series. It's been even with the rough patches, it's been a incredible season so far this season, and I know we're just gonna keep growing once we get out of this little bit of our summer schedule and get into the fall schedule here in a couple months. And huge shout out to all my partners: Quick Time Motorsports Media, Hall Metal Fab, Citrus Hat Sawn Mower, V&H Fresh. Huge shout out to all my fellow competitors for putting on some good races, good shows. It's been for the most part, it's been a total blast running with these guys this season. Huge shout out to my parents and grandparents for supporting me in all my forms of racing. And last but certainly not least, huge shout out to all the fans that come out and support the broadcast, the league, us drivers. Without your guys' support, we would definitely not be here in racing. Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
All righty, Andrew. Well, once again, thank you for taking your time and spending it here with us, putting on the great show you put on each and every week. And you, my man, keep on trucking at it. We know that 93 car here has a chance to win each and every week. So, Andrew, congrats on the finish here tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future.
Yep. Thank you, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was our runner-up finisher, the 93 machine of Andrew Payne. Now we'll head to our race winner here tonight. It is the 9 car of Anthony Danta. Anthony, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yep, I got you.
Alrighty, my man, picking up the win here tonight. How we feeling after 50 laps at Darlington?
A little wore out. That was a lot of close racing there for 50 laps.
Yeah, that it seemed like, especially you in this car here, it seemed like you were up front from pretty much lap 10 to the finish. I mean, we saw a lot of guys drop to the back. I mean, how did you keep your car up towards the front like you did all night long and pretty much side by side with someone? It seemed like more laps than not.
Yeah, fortunately, I have run a few races here in another league with street stocks last year, and I just knew that saving tires and then trying to get through the field is harder than just trying to keep track position. So I went with the strategy of just trying to stay up there, and it paid off. I was able to not put too much wheel into it there, and then my tires, I looked at them a little bit ago, they were pretty even, so it worked out good. There was a few hairy situations, but it's whenever you're side by side, 3 wide, bump drafting, that's going to happen.
Yeah, and speaking about hairy moment, going down the backstretch, that last lap, 3 wide, you're in the middle. I mean, you're probably thinking, who's going to hit me on what side, right, by the time you get into 3?
Yeah, I obviously couldn't enter as low as I would like to, and that caused me to slide up a little bit and get into the 93. I'm not sure of his name a little bit with my right rear, kind of got him in the left front. Um, I didn't want to win it that way, but it just kind of happened. If it wasn't 3 wide, probably wouldn't have been that tight. But I know the guy that went 3 wide was trying to go for the win too. That just happens here with the draft, and you just can't get away. So, um, Yeah, it was a little sketchy, but I figured I'm not going to just back out of it there and give it up because I spent so much time racing for the lead. So I tried to do the best I could there, and I missed it by about 6 inches. I think if I would have been able to keep it about 6 inches lower, it probably would have been a side by side battle to the line there.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's going to be a great race to the line, but it's still a great race overall. And, you pick up your second career win here in ASRC, and of course, dramatic fashion. And here in 2 weeks, heading to Iowa, another drafting track. I'm sure you're going to use what you learned here tonight, right? And apply it straight to Iowa.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing at Iowa. I think track position is a lot, so hopefully we could qualify decent and just stay in the top five and have a shot at it at the end. A lot of it is luck and getting in the right line. There was a few times where I was lucky enough I picked the bottom, and the bottom got a couple spots in the beginning. So as long as we can make the right choices early on in the race and end up front, hopefully we could hold our position up front.
Yeah, and like you said, that bottom side seemed like, where people went, but it seemed very, very hard to make the pass. And I was surprised Andrew Payne was able to get to your outside. Then he got the lead, but then you're able to fight back on that bottom side and, of course, have that exciting finish that we did. I mean, how tough was this bottom side to make work, to not overdrive, get the car, or even, miss your marks and lose that momentum? Because it seemed like it was big time momentum base, like it usually is at these big tracks and these low horsepower street stocks, right?
Yeah, it's tricky on the bottom there. He was able to he gave me a little bump draft out of turn two and got me pushed down the hill a little bit. That's how he got to the outside of me. Because the whole time I was telling myself just don't give him the outside, don't give him the outside. So once he did that, I knew I was going to have a lot of work cut out for me. And I tried 3 or 4 times to get past him. And like you said, you just one and two is not too bad, but once you get to the center of 3 and 4, when you're underneath someone, just trying to come off a turn four on the bottom, you just lose so much momentum. And we had gotten far enough out that we didn't either of us had drafting help, so it made it even harder. But yeah, it's a fun track, like you said, a lot of momentum. Um, 3 and 4 for me is the trickier side, so I struggle down there usually when I race here in anything. So, but it was a good race, and for the most part, I mean, we went 50 laps green there. Just that caution on the start was the only thing we had.
Yeah, definitely a lot of laps there to the end of this one, and some great racing to be had with that. So, you picking up win number two, still 2 races left. How we feeling for our chances to pick up even more checkered flags before the season's done with New Smyrna and then, of course, Iowa as well?
Yeah, hopefully I can win another one. If not, hopefully I'm in contention. That's all you could ask for is if you have a shot at it, right? So I'll just do the best I can and put myself in a position to be there in the end, and hopefully I'll come out on top.
Yeah, always. I usually like to say, it's always a great night to be talking to the broadcaster no matter what position you're in. But of course, a win is that much sweeter. So here tonight, Anthony, down in victory lane, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to here on the broadcast.
Yeah, first and foremost, my girlfriend. She's upstairs taking care of the boys. Like I said, um, she's giving them showers and baths or whatever needs to be done so they can go to school tomorrow or daycare. And so she lets me come down here and play for a little bit. And obviously you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Tanner and the whole group that runs the league. And then as far as teammates, you got Zach Coyer and Mark and Caleb there. We hang out in a little room and we could chat all night, and it's a good time. So I appreciate them hanging out and keeping me company.
Yeah, always great time to have your buddies to do some sim racing with, bounce ideas, and of course, just have a good time, just yapping it up with them. So, Anthony, once again, congrats on the win here tonight, and hopefully, we'll be talking to you again before the season wraps up. But here tonight, have a good one, my man. Congrats on the win.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks. Have a good one.
Alrighty, folks, that was our race winner here tonight, the number 9 machine of Anthony Danta, getting the job done. So let's run on over, get the race results done and over with, and send you on off here at a decent time and get ready for 2 more weeks here in the summer series. Anthony Danta in the number 9 car picks up his second career win here in ASRC. Andrew Payne another close second place finish for the 93 car. That's 2 weeks in a row. Rounding out the podium is the 48 of Tim Rogers. Finishing in fourth is the 38 machine, that is Dave Payne. And rounding out the top 5, the 18 machine of Devin McDonald. Coming in sixth is the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Seventh is the 13 of Zach Hoare. Eighth is Mark Fuquay in the sixth. Ninth place is Stephen Rochefort in the 66, and Caleb Ramsey in the 41 rounds out the top 10. 11th is Ty Delphi in the 013. 12th, Ethan Terrell in the 23. 13th is JT Batson in the 014. 14th is the 51 of Ron Harp. Coming in 15th is Pete Dillon in the 7. Hayden Swank in the 35 machine rounds out the field here tonight. So that would do it here for race number 10. 2 weeks left in the schedule. We have New Smyrna and Iowa still to go, so you won't want to miss that, especially the season finale at Iowa. Once again, got to give a huge shout out to all the live viewers coming on in and watching the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Same with the replay viewers coming in here at a later time, tuning into all the great racing action. We also got to give a huge shout out to all the drivers that put on the great show that all of us get to enjoy, as well as ASRC with their partners, LaPlante Racing Product, Boardwalk Subs, Postma Flooring, and the admins that make things happen here. Also, with Turn 3 Racing Network, we are partnered with Premier Setup, so there's a link in the description. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click would go a long way and show that we can support those who support us and allow us to give the great racing action that we can provide. So that would do it for myself. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next week time for the penultimate race of the 2025 Street Stock Summer Series. Everyone take care, have a good one, and I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.